Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait Coffee. It is Tuesday, November 18th. Uh, Guys, let me know when you can hear me because StreamYard takes a minute. And then also, the interwebs are supposed to be down. There was some stuff going on. I was like, I hope I can get on here this morning. But give me a 2 before in the chat if you can hear me. And we'll start this joker here in just a minute. Greg New was in here this morning. Russell, thank you. And Greg, thank you. Greg was in here at almost 7 o'clock this morning. Russell Homestead's here. Good morning, Dana. Guys, it is Tuesday, November 18th. Next week is Thanksgiving. All right. What is everybody having for Thanksgiving? I mean, if you do anything besides turkey and dressing, what is everybody doing? Put it in the comments. We're having... of course, we're doing the turkey because my brother's coming to Thanksgiving, and if you don't have turkey for Thanksgiving, he gets kind of aggravated about it. But I'm not a big fan of turkey, so we're doing standing rib roast also. So I'm excited about doing a standing rib roast. Absolutely love those jokers. We're doing a monster one that my mom had picked up, and so I'll eat on it for like 3 or 4 days after Thanksgiving. But what is everybody else doing for Thanksgiving? And then, is anybody planning on doing Black Friday shopping? Or is that even a thing anymore since COVID? It screwed everything up. I remember Black Friday. It used to be, the stores would open at midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning or something, and everybody would be rushing in. We only ever did Black Friday one time when with me and Whitney. We went, what was it? Dick's Sporting Goods. It was actually when Dick's, before they went all libtard and actually had guns and hunting stuff, the Dick's was going to open. The Dick's had just opened. They were doing some kind of monster Black Friday thing. So me and my wife and my brother went up there and Dick's opened at like midnight or something, and they had a bunch of deals on ammo. So we went and did that. That's the only time I've done any like Black Friday shopping for real. But Greg is doing turkey for Desiree and ham for me. Yeah. Good morning, Bill. And Newman's here. Newman, good morning. Glad to have you here. Let me see. She is home in Virginia. Good deal. Yeah. Greg, I've never done it because we don't like crowds and lines. I pay full price. Hey, I'm the same way. If there's something that I super, super want, we just did it because my oldest son, he was at his mom's house, and I'm like, we didn't have nothing else to do, and I'm like, let's just go do this one time. But other than that, I will pay full price or order the stuff online and just order it online and be done with it. Of course, everybody does Cyber Monday now where you can get some smoking deals. So let's see. Dana says turkey and ham. We're mainly ham eaters, but we do have leftover turkey for turkey salad sandwiches. It sounds good. I had my wife made chicken salad this weekend. That's what I had for dinner last night. Chicken salad sandwich on toasted bread. I was like, oh, this stuff is good. So, all right. Guys, we've got Black Friday stuff going on, or pre-Black Friday stuff going on. One of them is the herbal workshop. That's going to be December 6th. That's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Leslie from the School of Earth and All is coming up. She's going to do that. It's a one-day workshop. That's December 6th. You can use the code HERB15, HERB15, and that will get you 15% off. That'll get you 15% off. Let me see. There we go. That'll get you 15% off that class. And then, of course, we got free shipping. If you spend over $150, free shipping on that, and 10% off the whole store. And also, starting today, and this is gonna run through the 23rd, vehicle medical bags, like the green bag over there. The vehicle med bags are 20% off. So use the code BAG20, BAG20. Use that, and that'll get you 20% off the vehicle medical bags. So do that. Go check out the website if there's anything you need. Everything is in stock. Radios are in stock. I shipped some of those out Friday. I shipped some of those out, programmed them, and and got that going on. Oh, Dana says, I wish I could make Leslie's class. We have basketball games. Just make BJ take them, and you can miss one basketball game. So Leslie's class is going to be super fun. I'm looking forward to Leslie's class, even though I'm not a huge herbal person, but I'm looking forward to it. I always learn something, sit down and listen. And she's a wealth of knowledge. So if you're wanting to come to it, get in there and use that coupon code, because that thing only lasts, I think, another week on that. Bill, as I finally broke down and ordered a broad fork to harvest sweet potatoes. Well, get your sweet potatoes in. And Newman, I'll be at our American Legion post. We bring food and open it up to the community, invite military and veterans to join us, no charge. Taking a cherrywood smoked turkey and pecan custard pie. Newman, that sounds amazing. So that's awesome for you doing that. All right. Hey, I've got a question. This just popped up. Yeah, Dana, I'll take some good notes and share them for you. You hadn't seen my notes. I take a lot of notes on stuff. I mean, my whole desk is like just pages. I handwrite notes and reminders and all this, and it aggravates Shelly because Shelly puts everything on the computer. But I got a question. We print out stickers for stuff for KSL. And I was scrolling TikTok for just a minute, and I looked at it, and something came up. These sticker printers where you can print your own sticker. Does anybody have a sticker machine that they make their own stickers? So I texted Shelly and I was like, hey, what do you think about getting one of these? So I hadn't looked. She texted me back to see. But I'm wondering, does anybody have a sticker printer that can tell me anything about it? Is it worth printing your own stickers, or is it easier just to use Sticker Mule and order what you need? So we're going to look into that. Then Newman says, the day after Thanksgiving is our home celebration. Another cherrywood smoked turkey, Japanese style, sweet taters, pecan, custard pie, and all the regular stuff. That sounds good. We're going to do, everybody's coming over here on Thursday, eat, hang out all through the day and everything. Then Friday, I don't plan on doing much of anything. Lincoln and I are going to hang out on Friday. My wife said she wanted to go down and do some shopping, and I'm like, go for it. Go for it. Do whatever you want to. I'm probably the farthest I'll go is the hardware store right down the road, because they don't do any Black Friday unless I need something. I probably won't go anywhere. And Newman says, I haven't done Black Friday in decades. Can't stand the crowds. I would say most of us on here cannot stand the crowds. And I'm with Greg. I'll pay full price or order it on the internet if I need it. So, a funny kind of story. The other day, this company had called me because with KSL, Kentucky Sustainable Living, Chantel, good morning. She says she'll be at work on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Ooh. But then you get to overtime probably if you're working on Thanksgiving. All right. Along with the business of Kentucky Sustainable Living, I do contracting work too. So I had a company call me the other day. They're out of state contracting company, and they're like, hey, we got your name from this other company. We've got a job for you to look at. And I'm like, okay. He told me what the job was and everything, and I've got so much work right now. It's like stupid busy. So I went up there and looked at it, and long story short, it's like I've got so much crap to do on my contracting business. I'm like, I don't really want to mess with it. So the guy just kept hounding me on giving him a price for this. And it's one of those things. It's like I gave him a price, one of these prices that's like, I don't want to do this. So leave me alone. So I shot him a price, this stupid, astronomically high price to do this little bitty job. he emails me back like 20 minutes later. He's like, it's approved. Go ahead and schedule it and let me know when you can do it. And I'm like, holy crap. So it's like stupid priced. And I'm like, now I got to figure out a way to do it. So now the guy's all over me, hounding me. It's like, when can we get this scheduled? We got to do this job quick. And I'm just like, crap, I don't have time to do this thing. But yeah, so we priced this job like astronomically high. And now it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, these guys actually bid on it. So we'll have to go do it now. But that's funny. And then I called my wife and I told her, and she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I priced this thing just outrageously stupid. And she's like, are you going to do it? And I was like, I've kind of got to now. I don't want to pass up that much money on it. So that's the contracting world. Sometimes you're so stinking busy with stuff, you just give stupid prices, and sometimes people will bite on it, and sometimes they won't. So I used to do that when we did decorative concrete work. People would call me out of Nashville, and I'm like an hour from Nashville. People would call me and they're like, hey, we want you to come down and do our pool deck or do something like that. I would price those jobs just because I hated the Nashville traffic. I would price those jobs at double price and still be under what people were doing it for in Nashville. And I'm like, man, I can drive an hour and make double the money. So we did a little bit of that, but not too much, just because I hated driving and fighting the Nashville traffic all the time. And let's see. Dana says, no Black Friday shopping for me. Busy fencing by the creek to get my coony coons. And you'll be happy to know I sold the goats. See, Dana, I think a lot more of you now since you sold your goats. Anybody that knows me, I despise goats. I've had 2 goats on the property and will never have another goat on this property. I despise goats with a passion. See, Bill says, I did Black Friday 2 years ago because we needed a freezer, and Home Depot had amazing deals on freezers. It had a little ding on the outside and got 40% off. Hey, that's not a bad deal then. Let me see. What do we do this weekend? Sunday, I didn't do a whole lot of anything. Lincoln, my youngest one, didn't feel super good. First thing in the morning, we had plans to go to 8 o'clock service because one of the kids that we had in our Wednesday night class, he was getting baptized. So I was excited to go see that. Lincoln didn't feel good. So I told Whitney, I was like, I'll stay here with him. You go, because she was going to help with the baptism and everything. So, and then Sunday, we just kind of hung around here and didn't do a whole lot because Lincoln didn't feel great. But then everybody came up for Sunday dinner, had Sunday dinner, did that. Saturday, I was at Shelly's house about half the day. So, Shelly, we built a nice little shelter because Ginger's going to go up there hopefully in about a week or so. And so we built a little quick shelter for her, and it wound up looking pretty stinking good. I'm happy with it. We took corral panels. Shelly had a bunch of corral panels. We took those, made a 3-sided shelter, put the back to the prevailing wind where it'd block all the wind, and put it together, drove T-posts down, wire tied the corral panels to the T-post, and then took cattle panels and put in between it and arched everything. I had a couple billboard tarps, and I took one of the billboard tarps up there, and we cut the billboard tarp where it would fit, tied everything on, staked it down over it, and I'm like, man, this thing doesn't look bad. I was like, it will work for this winter until we can build something a little bit more sustainable up there. L2 Survive, good morning. And it was funny, I had this tarp, and Randy and one of his son-in-laws were out there, and I was like, we got to unfold this thing because it was rolled the wrong way, because we had measured how big we need and all this, and Randy's like, we can just unroll it on the driveway. And I'm like, Randy, this thing's 20 foot by 60 foot. I was like, it's the size of a small house. And he was like, we got room. I was like, let's just take it to the side yard. So we started unrolling this thing. We get it all stretched out, and Randy goes, holy crap, that thing's huge. And I was like, I told you. I was like, it's 20 foot by 60 foot. And those billboard tarps are a heavy weight too. And a 20 by 60 is a heavy tarp to move around. But we got the shelter ready for that. And then all that fun stuff. So then I had to come back home. We had the chili supper at Lincoln School, had their big fundraiser for the year. So we did that, and that's about all Saturday. Saturday was pretty booked up, so I wanted to take Sunday and relax for a while. And then Friday afternoon, Shelly's coming down, Melanie's coming down, and then we're headed to Clarksville to meet up with Greg New. And then all four of us are going down around Jackson, Tennessee for some training, super secret squirrel training that we're going to do this weekend. And once we get back, we'll tell you what we've been doing, because then we got some announcements coming with that. Cubby Farmer's here. Good morning. How are the cows doing that you're feeding? He's feeding like 3 million cows is what he says. But really it's like 6,400 or something. And then Bill, I'm still working on getting all the hopeful piles in place. Plus his cots are doing amazing. And I have my first pile going on a raised bed. Awesome. All right. So now that we're caught up on that. Yes, Bill, that is this weekend. That is this Friday. We're headed down. We're going to leave. Melanie and Shelly are meeting me here. We're headed down to Clarksville, Greg, to meet up with Greg, and then we're headed down around Jackson. I think it's Henderson, Tennessee is where we're going. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, honestly. But yes, that is this weekend. All right, guys. Modern Slavery. So I thought that was a cool title. Modern Slavery 2.0. The system needs you weak and dependent. It's everybody is, relying on the system. Be strong, be capable. Self-reliant people are hard to control. But it's, I don't know. People are too dependent on the system and everything. And we're talking about all these different systems that we're dependent on. There's kind of three parts to it. There's the physical, the financial, and then the digital dependence on everything. Like physical dependence on stuff. I mean, people can't cook anymore. I mean, you set down raw ingredients. People don't know how to cook from scratch on stuff. Yeah, they can't cook, so it's just DoorDash all the time, where they're going out to eat every stinking meal. People can't fix stuff. They can't fix a toilet, without calling a plumber. And if anybody's used a plumber lately, plumbers are expensive. Plumbers in Bowling Green are somewhere around $130 an hour. So think about that. Like people can't fix the flapper in a toilet anymore. They're just like, we have to call somebody to do that. People can't even change their own tire anymore. People just can't do stuff. Kids can't pick anything heavier than an iPad up. People are becoming allergic to anything that looks like work. So the physical dependence, they can't cook, they can't fix anything, they can't lift stuff, and this kind of goes back to where people aren't, used to hard work. And then the other segment of that, the dependence on stuff, is the physical dependence. Debt keeps rising. People are living paycheck to paycheck. Government assistance is increasing dramatically. You look at it, we just had, the whole SNAP benefit and EBT and all that kind of stuff. We saw how all that stuff played out and everything. So the government assistance is increasing significantly. Inflation is kind of pushing people into survival mode. It's like, hey, we can't afford certain things. It's like, they're trying to decide whether they're going to eat or get their heart medication kind of thing. And, a quote is, if you're one bill away from disaster, you're not in control. You're owned by the financial system. Yeah. Cut B. Control the food, control the population. Exactly. Bill, I appreciate that. I will talk to Shelly. I know we've already got an Airbnb for the night, and then Shelly's figuring out about dinner and stuff like that. So she had asked me the other day, but I appreciate that. And we will let you know ASAP. I will talk to Shelly I'll talk to Shelly probably after the live this morning. But yeah, cut beef farmer, control the food, control the population. Digital dependence on a lot of stuff. The algorithms are controlling what you see, just like we've talked about before. I can do, Shelly can do, other people in this can do videos and stuff like that that help you get out of the system and help you live more sustainable, but it gets pushed back. But then all the sex sells and all that stuff, if it bleeds, it leads kind of thing. Or if some girl's on there half naked on YouTube or Instagram, that's going to get pushed out more in the algorithm. So all these social media places are controlling what you see. Everybody's using navigation apps all the time to get where they're going. Nobody pulls out a map anymore. Most people don't know how to read a map. They wouldn't know how to use a map to go from point A to point B. It's like, man, the first thing you do is grab your phone and put it in your phone. Digital payment stuff. It's controlling how you buy stuff. A lot of people don't use cash anymore. I'm a cash guy. I use cash to pay almost all my bills. And it was like, the other day I had to run in and pay my cell phone bill. And I told my wife, I was like, I'll be home in a few minutes. I got to stop by AT&T. I got to pay my cell phone bill. And she's like, you're not doing automatic deduction? I was like, no. I was like, I go in there every month and pay my bill in cash. And she was like, you're still weird. I was like, hey, that's the way I want to do it. Now, this is something that is happening right now because I looked at it because my wife told me first thing this morning that she works from home, and she was like, some of the internet and some of the cloud stuff is down. She couldn't access some of the stuff she needed to from the cloud for her job. Cloud accounts are kind of controlling your access to data. One flip, they want one flip and they can keep you from, getting all your data and stuff like that. If you're using the cloud for your picture storage and everything like that on your iPhone, they cut you off to the cloud. You can't get your photos. You can't get, I know now on my laptop, they want it all on cloud storage for all your Excel spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, if the cloud's messed up or they're just like, hey, we're not going to give you access, that stuff's not on your computer, it's on the cloud, you're kind of screwed. So look at it right now. There's some cloud storage stuff and some internet stuff going down. I guarantee there's people freaking out about all that. Let me see. Dana says, I truly believe convenience has crippled our society. It literally took 2 generations to forget everything it took 2,000 years from our ancestors to learn. Yeah, 100% on that. It's like convenient stuff. It's like, hey, we can just go grab some food, or we can get DoorDash. Hell, you can get anything delivered to your door pretty much within 2 days with Amazon and, DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever. It's like you could literally stay in your house and never leave your house for weeks and weeks and weeks and just get everything you need. I mean, you can get all your medicine delivered, all of that stuff. It's great for the convenience of it, but it does make people pretty stinking soft on stuff. And let's see, Bill says, people are amazed that we don't use anything but a road atlas and road signs for navigation. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the way you used to do it. What was the meme? The meme said, or the little thing, I saw it on TikTok. It's like in, what was it, in the 90s, we printed out 5 pages from MapQuest on our printer, and we headed off on the road like a bunch of pirates. And I was like, I remember doing that. I remember going with my dad. We were going to North Carolina for something, and we printed out all the MapQuest directions on how to get there and everything. Of course, we had an atlas and all this, and it was cool. But I do remember that. I don't even know if you could go to MapQuest, if it's even a thing or not. But yeah, nobody does it anymore. Kind of some of the news tie-in stuff that show you what's going on. One of the big things is the decline in trade workers, plumbers, electricians, welders, mechanics. They are having super hard time finding people that can do this work and know how to do the work. Everybody wants this tech job and all this stuff, but the trades, AI is not going, everybody's like, AI is going to take this job market over and all this. AI is not going to be able to fix a toilet. AI is not going to be able to weld two pieces of metal together. I mean, that's just not going to happen. Grocery dependence, you see every year there's less and less people that are growing any of their own food. So, and honestly, you're more likely to see somebody that has an instinct and is doing an Instagram influencer than growing their own tomatoes. So, grocery dependency, start growing some more of your own food. That's one way to get out of the slavery system and the dependency thing. Grow as much food as you can. Medical dependency. Millions of people are on prescription drugs, on prescription drugs to be treated, but they won't change their lifestyle any. They're just like, we're living in the culture of, hey, I've got something wrong with me. I'll take a pill and I'll keep eating all the donuts I want to and all this other crap. And they don't want to change their lifestyle. So they're dependent on those pharmaceuticals because it's easy. So the medical system's got you right there. They got you by the short hairs. It's like, you got to have this to survive. And then the thing is, if you start bad mouthing or doing something like that, if we got digital ID, then it's like, oh, your digital ID, we're going to downgrade you. Now you can't buy your heart medicine, and now you're going to die. Unless you come out and say, hey, I was wrong for all the stuff I said, then we'll turn your digital ID back on and your currency where you can buy your heart medicine. So think about that. All the digital ID stuff and program payment systems, they're just running all that kind of stuff and doing that to where they're getting you in that dependency cycle. It's like, I've got to toe the party line, or my digital currency is not going to work, and I won't be able to get my food. I won't be able to get my medicine. I won't be able to get my gasoline, and heaven forbid, Netflix won't work. So I can't watch Netflix at night and stuff like that. Army Vet Girl, I have never seen you in here. I appreciate you being here. And yes, pharmakia is not meant to cure. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. If these drugs were meant to cure you, you wouldn't have to be on them all your life. It's like, you could take the pill, you're cured, and then you're done. It's, they're keeping you just well enough that you're not going to die. So, Army Vet Girl, I appreciate you being in here. Let me go back through here. All right. Cup V Farmer says, digital currency / digital ID, the government will be able to veto anything you want to do. Grid or internet goes down, you don't buy or sell anything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've got you. If we do this digital ID, that's why I still try to do most everything in cash, because I can go pay a bill at the feed mill, or I can go pay a bill at the lumber store, and nobody knows what I bought. So, if we do a digital ID, it's like, hey, I've got to go in here. There's a record of every 2x4 you bought and all that kind of stuff. L2 Survive. I'm older than the internet. I remember ripping maps out of the phone book. Yeah. Now, hey, I'm older than the internet too. I'm 47, and I remember all that stuff. I remember the maps and doing all that kind of stuff. I remember when my dad worked for IBM and retired from IBM. So we had a computer in the house, for years before other people had computers in the house. But I remember when the internet started getting big and Dad was showing us how to use it and all that stuff. I'm like, this is pretty neat. Bill says, you mean I don't need to call a plumber to fix my toilet, really? Hey, there are people that it does not matter what's going on. Any little thing, it's like, oh man, we need to call so-and-so and get this fixed. I grew up in a house, my dad would fix everything. And I've said this before. The only thing my dad didn't mess with a lot was the HVAC, just because he didn't have the refrigerant and the gauges and all that kind of stuff. But if it was like a, something small, a solenoid, something like that, man, he would replace it. But any kind of electrical, plumbing, framing, anything like that, he fixed. And he showed me how to do all this stuff. That's where I learned a lot of the stuff. And I'm the same way. Unless it's something crazy major going wrong at the house, I fix it. The AC, I don't know a whole lot about air conditioning, but I've got a super good HVAC guy, and he doesn't charge me a ton of money if it's something. But basic stuff, we fix it. If something's going on, if toilet's running, something like that, we buy the guts for a toilet. fix the toilet and go on with it. If a switch is bad in the house, I go down to the shop where I've got my switches at. We grab a new switch and fix it up and go. Just like down here in my office in the basement, there was one ceiling fan in here and it was dark down here all the time. So I put up 4 recessed cans. I didn't call an electrician for that. I went to Lowe's, got the cans, the recessed cans I wanted. I had everything else, the wire nuts, all that stuff. Came down here, grabbed everything. We cut the cans, put them in. I spent, 3 or 4 hours doing that, which let's figure 4 hours. The electricians here are $110 an hour. So, I mean, it would have cost me darn near $500 or better to have 4 lights put in. I mean, I saved myself $500 on that. Let me see. Bill says, I wished I would have known that a couple months ago when I changed the float and filler in my toilet a couple months ago. Yeah. And Greg says, AI and digital control is definitely purpose built as a population control better. Yes. All right. Army vet girl, thank you. First time catching a live. I appreciate you being here. And let me see. I was born in Owensboro, but in Northeast Kansas now. I was in Owensboro a couple weeks ago. Owensboro is where I get. There's a granite company out there that they supply and do all my granite for the projects we work on. So let me see. Newman. I am all into the trades. I have advanced degrees, but I start plumbing classes this spring. Thinking of getting my EMT cert again. And also learn how to work on engines. Yeah, I tell you, if I had it to do over again, I might go in and do electrical trades. I mean, I know a lot about electrical stuff. I can wire a house and do all that. But, going in and get your master electrician license would be pretty cool. So, but yeah, trades are where it's at, in my opinion. Let me see. Bill says I'm the same age as his kids. So, Army vet, same here. My dad was first aircraft 66 through 67. And they're birthing the beast system. Yeah, exactly. Greg Skeens, good morning. And yes, Army vet, Owensboro has changed. I used to go up there when I was in college. Some of my fraternity brothers were there, and I hadn't gone up there a whole lot. But then I went up there and I was like, man, everything has changed, because we spent quite a bit of time when I was in college up in Owensboro at my buddies' places and everything. All right. Why? Now we're going to get into it. Why? And I guarantee y'all can tell me, why do they want us weak? Does anybody know? They want us weak because it's profitable. If you're weak and you're not doing anything and you're in the modern slavery system, you're weak and dependent because you're profitable. Weak people are profitable. I mean, you buy everything. You buy all your food, you buy all your medicine, all your entertainment, all your repairs, all the solutions, subscriptions, services, everything becomes a bill. And also you're divided. Army vet girl said, yes. So you're buying all this stuff. You turn into just a cash cow for these people. I mean, you're looking, all right, December 6th, we're having a workshop. Leslie is going to come in and do a detailed herbal workshop for us. She's going to show you some of the stuff, how you can get off the dependency system without big pharma doing stuff. And I guarantee the stuff she shows you is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than going to big pharma and getting it. And big pharma is not curing you. They're just masking the symptoms of what it is. With the herbal stuff, you're not going to be buying. A lot of the stuff, I'm looking out on a pasture out back here. There's all kinds of stuff, medicinal stuff out in my pasture that I can use for different things. The food, if you're not growing your own food, you're just a cash cow to the grocery stores. And I want to preface this, nobody's going to grow 100% of their own food. But if you've got a good community of people, then you can get closer to growing 100% of your needs. I mean, And then it'd be real cool if you had somebody that had a salt mine on one of their properties, then you could get salt. So, but there's ways to get salt in the wild. If you caught Suzanne's thing over at the last festival, she showed you how to get salt in the wild. Repairs on stuff. You just become a cash cow to people. Weak people don't resist. If you're dependent on the government dole and you're dependent on getting SNAP benefits, you're not going to resist. You're going to vote for that person, every 4 years or every 2 years. You're going to vote for the person that's going to keep your SNAP benefits. You're not going to rise up and be like, no, we don't want you. And then they'll be like, yes, you want me, because the other person's not going to give you SNAP benefits. So you're not going to resist. Weak people are also predictable. They're going to take the easiest route. They're going to do this. And they can predict you with algorithms. This person is going to do this because they've done it 100 times before. They're going to go straight out. They're going to order this or they're going to do that. They can predict it. Weak people are not going to build parallel systems. I'm trying to build a parallel system. We all should be trying to build a parallel system. We should all. I've got people that if I need something, I can trade with them, or I can buy from them, or we can barter, do whatever we want to. I know people that have different things going on that we can do. Prepare with skilled people, build the communities. And I know I sound like a broken record, but you need to get your communities and your allies that you can get in there and deal with, because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you build this parallel system, I know, like if Greg New and I wanted to trade out some stuff, if I wanted to get honey from Greg and he could get some lamb for me and stuff like that, we could trade, because I know Greg's a stand-up guy. He's not, with big government and tracking me and all that stuff. It's like we're walking the same path. We know each other, and we're headed the same way, so we're not going to screw each other over. Unlike some of the other government stuff, they'll screw you as fast as they can. All right. How to escape. And y'all are putting it in there. Army vet girl. Yes. Community will be everything. 100%. And yes, God did give us all the cures that we need for ailments and stuff like that. And Leslie has talked about that a bunch. She was like, everything you need out here is growing out. Everything you need is right there to fix most of the ailments that you have. And then Newman, control food, healthcare, and money, and you keep the population weak and enslaved. Yeah, 100%. And Bill says, that's why we're up to 5 pigs and around 2 dozen chickens. Exactly. Newman, I've been studying herbalism for a couple years. So much we can forage and grow that will heal us and keep us healthy. I grew up with acupuncture and traditional Chinese herbal medicine in Japan. That's pretty cool. So, all right. How do we fix it? How do we escape? I mean, I've touched on some of it. Learn one physical skill this year. And I would put it, learn 6 physical skills this year. Take one and do it for 2 months. Study it for 2 months. I mean, and we're talking about all kinds of stuff: cooking, canning, changing tires, basic carpentry, gardening, all this kind of stuff, herbalism. Pick something, study it for 2 months, and get it kind of down. You're not going to be a master of it in 2 months, but you're going to have a great working knowledge in 2 months on studying some of this stuff. Study that stuff. Build, a base of all kinds of stuff that you can do. The old saying is, a jack of all trades and a master of none. I would rather be a jack of all trades and a master of none, as opposed to somebody that's specialized. And the only thing I know about my life is the banking sector. I can do everything you want to about banking, about retirement and all that stuff. And that's all I know, but I don't know what's going on with my toilet, why the toilet won't flush and why the toilet's running. So I would rather be a jack of all trades and a master of none than that one guy that just sits in there and only knows one thing. And let me see, Cuck B. The Bible is a good medical book besides being God's word to us. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100% with that. And Bill's got his 4 registered coon pigs and the rescue pig. Army vet girl. Yes, learn as many of the lost arts, old school skills as you can have. 100%. Build functional strength, not the gym strength. And you see it all the time. People are out there. It's funny when they're like comparing all these gym rats to construction workers. Like gym rats try to pick up like 2 or 3 50-pound sacks of concrete or something, and they can't do it. And then the construction guy comes in and grabs 3 of them and just keeps on walking. Real world strength, splitting wood, carrying feed, doing all the stuff like that. Another thing is reduce your financial dependency. Lower your debt, build a small savings, prep your pantry, learn to maintain what you already have. Don't just go out and buy new stuff all the time. Fix what you've got. You don't necessarily need, your weed eater goes down. Learn how to fix your weed eater. It might be a simple $5 fix as opposed to a $200 weed eater. You've saved $195, and you've also learned a skill on, hey, how to fix the weed eater. You see guys all the time, they'll go on Marketplace and they will buy generators and weed eaters and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, the guy said it wasn't running in anything, and I watched a guy do it the other day. He bought like a walk behind weed eater deal. He was like, the guy said it didn't work anymore, wouldn't run. The guy spent like 30 minutes cleaning the carburetor, didn't spend any money on it at all except for carb cleaner. And he got the thing up and running in like 30 minutes or something. He's like, I spent like $20 on this thing and now it works. And I'm like, do some stuff like that. Prep your pantry, get it going, have a small savings. I mean, there are so many people that don't have any kind of savings right now whatsoever. If it went, boom, they're like, I don't even have extra $100. So build a savings on it. Building a pantry, build that 30-day buffer. Get you a 30-day buffer of food, and it's going to be stuff that you eat, not just don't go out and just buy all kinds of crap just to be buying it. Get, 30 days of stuff that you're going to eat. You're going to be ahead of probably 90% of the people. 90% of the people, in the country, if you've got a 30-day food supply. Let me see. Dana says, and if you pay attention, the herbs that are growing at the current time tend to treat what seasonal sicknesses is floating around at that time. Exactly. It's kind of like God planned this thing. Or did the Big Bang plan this? And we're not going to get down that rabbit hole. I wholeheartedly believe that God created the earth and created everything that's in it to where it all works magically together, and that it's crazy. There's no way that a Big Bang could have made all this happen. So if you believe in a Big Bang, I'm sorry, this is the wrong channel for you, because I believe God wonderfully made this earth and everything that's in it, and all this stuff goes together. And if you really look at it, it boggles your mind. It's like, how in the world does all this stuff work together? But it's like, I'm not going to question it. I know God did it, and he knew what he was doing when he did it, and I'm just going to roll with it. Oh, let me see. Newman, my project this winter is building a wallapini. Yeah, the sunken greenhouses, chicken coop run, sheep shed, and raised beds, and milling my own lumber. Lots of skills to develop. Newman, you're going to have an awesome winter doing all that stuff. And yes, L2 Survive, wood does eat you 3 times. I've heard that a bunch. When you cut it, when you split it, and when you burn it. Let me see. Cook B, everybody should be on a budget. That will help you big time. Exactly. And Bill, a gym membership is the compost, the chicken yard, and everything else. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, my gym membership is flipping compost, moving feed, moving bales of hay, all that kind of stuff, and doing that, and then doing, contracting stuff. I mean, I was moving hardwood floor yesterday. I mean, we moved tons of boxes of hardwood floor. You're grabbing that stuff. I think those things weigh, I don't know, 80 pounds a bundle, something like that. So, I mean, we're throwing those things around all day. You're getting a workout doing that, and that's functional fitness. And Greg, yes, God is great all the time, 100%. Newman's also reading about building a wood gasifier to heat your home. That would be cool. All right. Another one of the things is limit your digital reliance on stuff. And this is what we're getting with paper maps, offline backups, cache when possible, and know how to navigate without a GPS. If you missed the land navigation workshop, there are already people that have emailed Shelly. It's like, hey, I want to come to the next one. And it's like, I don't know when there's going to be a next one. It's going to be a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, offline backups. All right, look. If you see how thick that is, those are my notes that when Shelly and I have meetings and stuff like that, I hand write down notes. So unless there's a fire or a flood or something like that, the internet can shut down, but I've still got my notes on stuff. I've got a notebook of stuff sitting here. I've got that. I do all the most of the business stuff for my contracting. We handwrite invoices. I've got books of invoices. I've got all that kind of stuff. That keeps me less. If the computer crashes, I've still got all my notes. I've still got all my bids. I'll handwrite the bids out and stuff like that. So I've got all that stuff. I don't need the interwebs to access that. So that's what I'm looking at. Get out of the financial, or get out of the whole dependency system. Do as much as you can. People, if you're dependent on the system, you're a slave to the system. Get out. And what does it say in the Bible? The borrower is slave to the lender, which is 100% true. And Greg, yes, build a library of books. And I've got tons and tons of books upstairs. We started going through and rearranging upstairs. We got the fireplace and built-in bookcases on each side that I'd built. I had tons of books up there. And I'm like, my wife wants to put knickknacks and stuff like that. I'm like, that's fine. I was like, I'll put my books downstairs. So I've got, all kinds of books, all the stuff from Foxfire books. I've got processing books on how to process animals. I've got herbal remedy books, just tons of stuff. Build those books. Yes, it's great to have all that stuff on your phone and have all the PDFs and everything. But the Russians shoot a nuke over and EMP us and all that stuff. It's like, we're not going to be able to get that. So it's like, have hard copies. I am a super big person of having hard copies of everything. Let me see. And an Army girl, yep. I never cut wild lettuce when I find it, as it's nature's morphine, the white sap in the leaves. And morning glory, digitails, it'll just keep kids away from it. Yeah, and I've got some wild lettuce tincture that a lady, one of my friends made. I've got it, and that stuff does work good. Cuck V, grew up on a farm or work on a farm, you can't help to know that there is a God. Exactly. 100% on that. And then Newman, functional exercise is the best. Why buy a gym when you can be outside? Yeah, I mean, you get a workout grabbing boxes of hardwood and moving those things around all day and unloading, 22 boxes of that stuff from the truck and walking them inside. That's functional exercise. That's a heck of a lot better than sitting in the gym and, just lifting weights all day. And yes, Jesus told us, come out of her, my people. Cup V, eventually the mark of the beast system will come, and you want to be self-sufficient by the time it comes. Yeah, 100%. And that's what we're trying to do. Be as self-sufficient. If you're not self-sufficient and you're relying on the system, when, .gov comes in and they're like, we're going to squash this stuff. If you're dependent on that system, you can't be like, okay, whatever. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like when you were a kid and your parents wanted you to do something and you're just like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, cool, go live somewhere else. Go get your own apartment and live in your own apartment. But when you're here and in my house, you're going to follow my rules. And the reason you had to stay and follow those rules is because when you were 12 years old, you didn't have, the funds and the ability to go out on your own. So you had to stay and play by their rules. But it's the same thing. If you're dependent on the system and you're getting your SNAP and your EBT and everything comes from the government, and the government says, hey, we're going to do this, you don't have the ability to be like, no, Mr. Government, we're not doing that. And then they'll look at you and they'll be like, cool, if you don't do it, all your stuff magically goes away. And you're just like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to do it. So if you're relying on the system, you're never going to stand up against it. And Newman, now that I'm back in the States, I would love to come take the land nav workshop. I'm a squid. I can do the ocean. Land, not so good. I get turned around in my own woods. Newman, we're gonna talk and talk to Mike and see when we can do another one. We kind of got to plan it. It's probably going to be a while. Hey, Newman, how long are you going to be back in the States? Are you done with that, or are you going to go back over sometime? And Army Vet Girl, yeah. A great home library is worth its weight in gold. Exactly. And Bill says, weightlifting consisted of loading and unloading 2 tons of concrete, landscape blocks, and pavers. Yeah, 100%. And then, yeah, there's still time. PJ frequently says that. Come out of her, my people, before shit hit the fan and end of the world as we know it. Yeah, exactly. Guys, I hope that y'all have a good day. That's about all I want to cover. I mean, don't be dependent on the system. Get out of the system as much as you can. Build a community of people. Know this. I mean, we've got people that are coming in and moving closer to us all the time. Forrest is wanting to move closer here. We're just building contacts of people. And there's people, the Hatfield Homestead, they're wanting to move down here pretty soon and real close to us. So build that community of people, just like Shelly and I. We've got it worked out. Shelly's got more grass on her property and got more land at her place so she can support that cow and calf better. And then once that calf gets big enough, it's like, hey, we're going to process this calf and we're going to split the meat. So Shelly is getting something out of it. I'm getting something out of it. And all this, and it's funny. Shelly asked me, she goes, I've never had a cow before. She's like, is there anything I really need to know? And I was like, well, Ginger's awful spoiled. I said, my wife feeds her. She really likes vanilla wafers. And Shelly started laughing. She goes, are you serious? And I was like, yes. I said, so go buy some vanilla wafers, and you have to feed her a couple every day because my wife goes down there and does that. And she goes, that is freaking hilarious. She was like, so I'll get some vanilla wafers. I'm like, she absolutely loves them. She'll do whatever she can for vanilla wafers. So, but yes, that's about all I've got, guys. I appreciate you. And Greg says, I hope everyone has a great day and a productive week. Hey, I tell you, yesterday was productive as all get out, and today is going to be productive too. Army Vet Girl, appreciate y'all. Stay stacking and keep looking up, and God bless. Army Vet Girl, I appreciate you being in here. And Newman, I'm not deploying again, retiring 14 months, and we'll move to Kentucky in August when I start terminal leave. Yes. Newman, let me know. Email me or something, and we'll see if we can set you up with a realtor to look for some property. I know you're looking over more towards Eastern Kentucky. And Bill, I will let you know about this weekend, and Shelly will get with you. I'm going to talk to her here in a little bit and talk to her. But guys, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good weekend. Shelly and I will be back here Wednesday night, 8 o'clock for Homestead HQ. I have no idea what we're talking about, but we'll figure it out. She will send me. It looks like it's getting ready to rain here. All right. Shelly will send me what it is. I don't even know what the topic is. She always comes up with a good one. But Shelly and I will be back on here tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. And then I'll be back here Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Guys, I appreciate you, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.